No Fear already picking up that big clutch. He's amped up as an individual. Got a rough read on where he believes Soul-K can be stationed, tucked in behind this burnt-out hovercraft.
I don't think he knows. I think he knows there's a team in that general direction, but he does not know where No Fear is. Hamzy G finally goes down. I think No Fear has a rough idea that he's playing on this hovercraft, though. He has the information. Watching both of them. This would be an unbelievable double clutch up versus 4 thrives into the last 2 teams. Zeus is just pushing forward. Instant spot though, over towards No Fear. And now Zeus with all to do here. Flash, who had swept everyone aside. Soul-K, the last to fall potentially here versus Team Flash.
Zeus, the lightning reactions for Flash have guaranteed them a second place, but can he take it to first, or will Soul-K get it done for S2G? A smoke wall, giving him limited play space. That tree, the only protection for the peak for Flash. He's gonna make his move, starts charging in, wants to close the distance. Here's the peak up, bullets on target. Suya so low, buckles under the pressure. That's the damage coming through as they lock it in.
S2G, Kamikaze with the Kamikaze play towards the center. It's an explosive finish right at the end. But Soul-K steps up, a lad that's been in the esport for the longest of time. He's still got it in him.
Feeding the crowd energy. A celebration in unison for the nation as they pop off on that one. S2G locking it down and everyone's living it up.
And it's all in the name because it is all gonna be okay at the end of the game for S2G. They had a lot of confidence coming into this one. They look good on the stage. They look good in the game. Is this the S2G comeback that we were looking for?
Aggression, confidence, some brilliant gun skill. Showing us a lot of the moves we needed to see on that one. A smart rotation from start to finish as well, playing by their own rules, Blank.
I think the thing for me is just, man, 2 matches so far, they have been both electric. I mean, this shot from Zeus.
Oh, the quick reactions, dude. That sent me.
His eyes must be going 2 different directions, man. He'd be seeing everything.
He was so locked in for an S2G fight. I don't even know how he clocked him, but instantly.
He said it, lightning flash reactions. That's what it is. I mean, it's so good from this team so far. I mean, they were involved in everything.
Yeah.
I think Horror, honestly for them, yeah, it's a tough fight versus 4 thrives, but you got to be happy with the way that No Fear clutched up there. That is an incredible finish of those guys. Yes, Horror had a good spot on the sideline, but it's so many teams constantly pouring in, cycling out time and time again. I don't think that was an easy game whatsoever.
And you can feel it looks a little bit different with this lobby compared to what we had in isolation in groups, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's so much more quick to the punch, a lot more early contact. And it feels like sometimes we were seeing maybe a bit too much respect for the big dogs. Now everyone's playing on the same level. It feels like we're all on an equal footing here. And they're giving it their best. It really has changed the dynamic. But let's get down and hear from Kalaris himself on the stage about what they have to say.
Thank you very much, Jackie. Yes, you can cut the tension with a knife here at the moment for our first 2 games. And I'm here with our winners from game 1, of course, Ralph from Nigma Galaxy, to talk to about them. Some of the games that have happened so far. So let's talk about that first game, in that late game against Aurora there. What was your anticipation as a team? Did you think Aurora had maybe moved a little bit earlier? Or talk to me about the late game and what you guys were experiencing.
I mean, we didn't really know. We didn't have much info. But we just played it slow. We took our fights that we need to take, and we just secured the win at the end.
I mean, it looks good at the end, right? Of course, getting that many points off of a rondo. Not a bad start at all for a grand final like this. That second game, a bit harder, I think.
Yeah, second game was a bit harder. I mean, we have a team hot dropping us, but they're scared to fight. I don't know, they're camping. So we'll see in next games what they do.
I was going to say, were you surprised by that? Because it was in the back, we were a little surprised that they were going to come your way. As we've talked about multiple times, it's your territory. So what are they doing?
They know we won't change, so they're just wasting their time. And they're coming to fight, but they don't want to fight. So I'm really confused right now.
All right, well, thank you very much for joining me here, Ralph. You heard it out there. Ida, he's got his eyes on you.
My name's
blank and I've had 4 coffees and I'm testing my reaction time right now.
I'm Hot Jukes. I just had a massage and this is my reaction time.
Let's get it. Dude. I'm in the river. The ribs. Yes, my reaction score is pretty damn good. I actually don't think it has something to do with anything else or anything like that. But what about you, Jukes?
I don't care. Cut.
S2G in hovercrafts. That is like white on rice right now, because my goodness, what a performance out of that squad. Before we break down that second match here in finals, don't forget that we do have the fan experience that you can check out here at EWC. Make sure you go check it out. You can check out the new mode, Brain Rot Royale. Check out the collaboration right now the PUBG Mobile is doing with Naruto, and so much more. And you can win some really cool shirts, which actually we've been wearing them. Not right now. I think Jukes does have one on, but you'll be able to check out so much stuff. Yeah, check out that still Brain Rot. I mean, Brain Rot Royale. I've been playing it. I think I got to level 7. I've seen people being able to get to level 11. I gotta grind some more.
Wow,
but
7 got 7.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yes. Gotta keep it on brand, baby. Now that's it. I'm not gonna be playing it anymore. But S2G, Jukes.
Bro.
My goodness.
Oh, dude, that double hovercraft play right there at the end was absolutely insane. They were able to take out Aula in a very nice way. And then just, I like to see that they kept one player there, right by the water, behind the hovercraft, just in case. And he was able to clutch it up at the end and get that chicken dinner. Finally, an S2G win, and nice and early.
Yeah, really, really nice. And the momentum they were able to pick up on after, getting those hovercrafts. Very quick side note here, while we're on this fight, 4 Thrives are looking, I hate to say it, very shaky. I don't know what happened, because group stage, they were looking really, really solid, just not able to get that win. Here, the splits are kind of off. They're pushing one by one. They're not really communicating, it feels like. So the last 2 games, I've not been super impressed with them, but hopefully that changes in the next game.
And for 4 Thrives, I felt like it took him way too long, Neptura, to engage the fight there with Hora, just coexisting for too long, and No Fear came in clutch with that 1 versus 2.
He really did, and he continued to come in clutch for a lot of the game. Actually, he was a big a big part of the team this game.
Yeah, I just think he just made a big play. I mean, what can you do against that? When No Fear comes up and clutches it up, I mean, Aura fans are screaming these guys' names at the top of their lungs, and to be able to clutch it up like that is just huge. So yeah, unfortunate for 4 Thrives, huge for No Fear.
Another team that has been performing quite well today when we talk about eliminations has been none other than Nongshim Lace. This was the biggest feedback that we gave this squad during groups and also survival, and they're finally starting to put up those eliminations. As you can see, Nongshim Red Force right now with 9.
Yeah, absolutely, 7. I mean, they're finding important fights on their rotation to solidify that position, especially on that northern side. They were able to sort of catch Furia off guard. And now I do want to kind of segue into Furia and to why I need to highlight this. But one of our most aggressive playstyle teams is prioritizing the rotate on Rondo. We actually saw them grab utility, move into zone, and Max actually made a good point about this when NGX was sort of on the, I think it was the eastern side next to E Arena. Furia should have just pushed them into it, caused that fight. They would have had control over that whole entire side because they just sort of stopped the revive from Ulf. Then again, on this map, they found themselves in the position, and Nongshim, from the northern side, just obliterated their defense. This is just unusual for Furia. They are the power play team. They're the ones that get in a goddamn vehicle and shooting out the window and making that position them. It's just unusual.
They're all right. They are supposed to be that aggressive team, and they're currently not showcasing that in the opposite, like you just mentioned, and I was mentioning too. Nongshim is putting up those eliminations, but something happened at the end of that last game with the hovercrafts and S2G. That was a little bit sketchy, Net.
It was a little bit. It was a bit touch and go here, but the momentum they've been able to build with these hovercrafts, they had 2 or 3, and they just went, let's go for it. And it's this replay that I want to talk about here, because look how they're going to play this. Looks like my driving. First of all, Secondly, look how they take that first hovercraft and they deny the sightlines of Aula, right? They separate them one by one. They can no longer play as a duo. They try and get as many of those sightlines abolished as possible with those hovercrafts. And to be honest, S2G with those hovercrafts have been actually insane. It feels like because they take more damage to explode, and they have just a tank, and so they are able to just run with it. They were making crazy rotations from the very beginning of the game. They had those positions on the rocks in the middle of the water, which are normally inaccessible, but having 2 hovercrafts, I wonder if other teams are going to start picking up on that, because that was an insane game from S2G.
I mean, we've seen it happen in the past too, and you just sounded like Max there for a second. I have to double check to make sure it was Michael Natura Jackson or if it was Max, man, but we're looking at the overall ranking here. Nick McGalaxy is currently in first place with those 26 points. Aurora, top. What happened at the top of that bridge? That man ended up falling down, and he actually ended up hurting Aurora with the rotation that they were looking to do into the main island.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate there. I mean, that's what it's all about. You know, you're trying to be able to get into that end game and make those plays, and if you're Aurora, 24 points on the board, you can't shake your head at, and S2G being able to get that win, push themselves up to 3rd place. I like what we were talking about there about Nongshim a little bit earlier, right?
Hey, just look at the elements.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. 18 eliminations, and they would have gotten even more if it wasn't for those clutch plays from Vitality right there, because we saw absolute Hyunbin in action making some serious plays. But hey, again, super clutch moments here.
We have to talk about some of these other teams that are currently on the second page. I know it is the first day of PMWC at EWC 26 finals. It's only 2 games, but there is some things that we're starting to notice here, especially with 4 Thrives, the passionate that you were kind of talking about earlier, Neptura, as well as OG. OG needs to start being a little bit more aggressive and making sure that they look a bit more cohesive when you are being aggressive, because they were pushing one by one. It seems like a chicken without its head.
Yeah, it really did. And also they're losing players very, very early on. I think we've had that in both games now, where they're losing at least 1 or 2 of their players. Godlike have had a better opportunity to keep their players alive. They've been split up a little bit more. They've been using a little bit more of the zone, but it's just when they actually get down to the fight towards the end game, that's where they start to falter, and that's why we're not seeing those strategies convert into points. So that's what we need to see there.
And India, if I have learned anything about OG, it is they need their 3rd game. So don't count them out yet. I've learned my lesson. Don't you stress. Orangutan in their 3rd match, what they tend to do is actually prioritize just kind of scoping what the rest of the teams are doing, making their game plan, Game 3, 4 is where they set their sights on fire.
Oh, I like that one. Now this is
learned my
the group
lesson.
of death. This is the group of death, and this does feel like a finals right now with the way that some of these teams are playing. One man that I know is happy because he ended up picking that team that was in the top 3 here, none other than Team Flash. Maxman is looking to make sure he reverses curse. So let's send it over to Maxman in Calaris.
Well, we're not going to let him do any predictions here. That would be very, very serious indeed. But of course, we'd take a look at how things have gone down so far here in these 2 games. And we did have an interview just with Ralph, who's also a little bit confused about said hot drop.
I saw the hot drop that could happen on the map before this event. I'm like, they're not going to go for it because
ओवरऑल स्टार्टिंग हमारे लिए अभी आई है ना, आप देखिए ईडा भी वही है, यूएलएफ भी वहीं पे, फ्यूरिया भी वही है, तो हमें बस ये अभी पहला स्टेप होना चाहिए कि इन्हें कैसे बीट करना इन टर्म्स ऑफ ड्रॉप क्लैश के अराउंड क्या कॉन्वर्सेशन होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि अभी हमने देखा था उनका एक ड्रॉप क्लैश हुआ था, तो पहले हमें इन्हें बीट करना है, तभी जो है ना स्टेप हमारा उस पोडियम की तरफ, उस टॉप 5 की तरफ जा सकता है। अगर हम लोग इधर उलझ गए तो फिर मुझे लगता है कि उस पोडियम और टॉप 5 के लिए चीजें थोड़ी और साधारण हो सकती है वक्त के साथ।
जी बिल्कुल, आई थिंक ये बात तो आपने सही की कि आगे आने वाले मैच पे फोकस रहना चाहिए टू डू बेटर। ओशन, आपसे जानना चाहूंगा ओरंगुटान की, चलिए आपके साथ डिस्कशन करते हैं, बिकॉज पिछले 2 गेम्स उतने कुछ खास नहीं गए, पिछले गेम के अंदर भी आइसोलेटेड फाइट्स के अंदर प्लेयर्स पकड़े गए एंड वेल वी नो व्हाट हैपेंड। ये गलतियां कैसे सुधारी जाएं, बिकॉज इट सीम्स लाइक अर्ली ड्रॉप के बाद तो टीम फिर भी थोड़ा कंफर्टेबल रह रही है, कॉन्ट्ररी टू एक्सपेक्टेशन क्या थी एट द स्टार्ट ऑफ द डे?
मैं आपको एकदम 2 आंसर्स देना चाहूंगा। पहला है ओजी के खुद के प्लेयर्स का आंसर, वो ये होता है कि पहला दिन तो हमारा हमेशा खराब जाता है, डे 2 से हम लोग खेलना शुरू करते हैं, हमारे लिए डे 2 हमारा डे 1 होता है
जी।
और जब भी उन्होंने कहा है वो जीते हैं, वो शोडाउन की भी बात है, जस्ट यू नो, और उसके पहले एक जो थर्ड पार्टी हुआ था उसकी भी बात है। लेकिन when we just talk about actually the serious thing, वो यही आती है कि ओजी ने बहुत बड़ी मिस्टेक्स करी। सबसे पहले राउंडो के अंदर बिना बात के कुछ फाइट्स के अंदर गए थे, जब उनके खुद के प्लेयर्स रिकॉल होकर के आए थे, तो आपको समझना होता है कि आपका सेकंड चांसेस नहीं होंगे। और पिछले वाले बैटल के अंदर भी वो तो खुद बैटल में उतना घुसना चाहते नहीं थे, एक रश किया, उन्हें पता चला, एंड बोथ द टाइम्स ई अरीना हैज बीन देयर क्रिप्टोनाइट, सो दे नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि उनकी रोटेशंस कितनी ज्यादा खराब हो रही है कि वो ई अरीना के सामने आ रहे हैं। अवॉइड दैट फाइट प्लीज।
जी बिल्कुल, और एक आखिरी सवाल, अगर कुछ आप हिस्टोरिकल रेफरेंस दे दीजिए, बिकॉज तीसरे मैच की तरफ हम बढ़ रहे हैं, डे 1 का हाफ वे मार्कर बिल्कुल खत्म होने वाला है। ओशन कैन दे स्टिल मेक अ कमबैक? मीरामार्स बहुत ट्रिकी हो जाएंगे एट द एंड ऑफ द डे।
हो जाएंगे, लेकिन ओजी ने अपना पहला बढ़िया गेम ऑब्वियसली मिरामार के अंदर निकाला था, तो मे बी इट कैन हैपन, बट एरंगल से मोमेंटम, दीज बोथ दे आर मोमेंटम बेस्ड टीम स्लाइटली।
जी बिल्कुल, बट थैंक यू सो मच कास्टर्स। आई थिंक मैच का अब इंतजार रहेगा, जानेंगे आप ही की आवाज में कि कैसा रहेगा ये गेम एरंगल का मैच नंबर 3। आप लोगों की क्या प्रेडिक्शन है?
Well, मेरे लिए I feel it's gonna be OG this time.
OG?
Yeah.
Vitality for Vitality. Alright.
Okay, O for OG then.
O for OG. Who? OG. देखिए ऐसे होती है OG की Vitality का चैंट, मेरे को नहीं पता, बट एक चीज तो मेरे को पता है, वो ये है कि मैच स्टार्ट होने जा रहा है। गेम नंबर 3 ऑफ डे नंबर 1। देखना होगा क्या इंडियन टीम्स का कमबैक हो पाएगा। जानते हैं मैच में विद आवर कमेंटेटर्स।
ओजी के चैंट्स तो दिए जा चुके हैं, लेकिन भारत का जो चैंट 2 दिन पहले सोशल मीडिया पे आया था, हु दिल से इंडिया, उस चीज की पूरी कहानी लिखने की कोशिश ये टीम्स करने वाली हैं। देवियों सज्जनों, will it be the match that gives us all the best news is शूटिंग रेंज से लेकर के नोवो रेपनोय तक का ये फ्लाइट पाथ, और इस फ्लाइट पाथ के अंदर ये 64 मुसाफिर 16 अलग अलग टीम्स में विभाजित, सारे बेसिक्स आपको पता हैं, बट एडवांस सिर्फ इतना कि कोई ना कोई इस गेम के अंदर अपने लिए वो चिकन डिनर लेकर के जाएगा ही जाएगा। देखते हैं कौन सा वो नाम होगा, कौन सी वो टीम होगी। वापस से हर कोई उतरना शुरू कर चुका है, बट रावण, दिस गेम अ डिफरेंट फ्लाइट पाथ, सर्कल का इंतजार रहेगा।
एग्जैक्टली, बट ओवरऑल स्टैंडिंग मैं अभी भी बहुत क्लोजली देख रहा हूँ। मतलब ये वो मैच रहेगा ओशन मेरे अनुसार, जहाँ पे आप क्लाइंब करके सीधा पोडियम में हिट कर सकते हो एक सिंगल मैच में। अगर यहाँ पे अब गलतियाँ होती है तो फिर बॉटम हाफ से एक सिंगल मैच में आप पोडियम भूल जाए, फिर आपको 2 से 3 मैचेस लग जाएंगे अगर आप उस तरीके से प्लान बना रहे हैं तो इस पर्टिकुलर एरंगल को बहुत अच्छे तरीके से खेलने की जरूरत पड़ने वाली है। टॉप अच्छे फॉर्म में चल रहे हैं, नीलू ऑलरेडी हम देख रहे थे कि सर्वाइवल स्टेज में भी डोमिनेट किए थे, टीजी भी काफ़ी अच्छे वो फिनिशर निकाल के जा रहे हैं अपनी टीम के लिए। तो इन 3 प्लेयर्स ने तो काम बहुत बेहतर अभी तक किया है, बट जो ड्रॉप क्लैश हमने पिछले मैच में देखा था पोचिंकी में, जो एट द ड्रॉप शेयर हो चुका था, क्या एक बार फिर से वही कहानी यहाँ पे दोहराई जाएगी, यहाँ पे कहानी में कुछ ट्विस्ट आने वाला